Hello, I'm Ray. This is my vegetable garden. If you're new to my channel, then please subscribe. That would be wonderful. So, the last few days, I've been building my tool shed and painting my old dull shed. And today, it's catching up with a few jobs I need to do around the garden. So let me show you what we're going to get up to on this miserable Thursday. All the lupins has shed their seeds and they've actually produced 2 more flowers. So this is about the 3rd round of flowers that this lupin's produced. So it's very nice to see. And we've got some more plants that we've saved. We've saved the seeds for next year. So that'll be good. We can save these too. The roses have been coming out nicely, but we need to remove some of the dead heads. So with a sharp pair of secateurs, we're just removing the dead heads. Just back to the first leaf. This one's nearly done, so we'll give that one a cut too. I don't know whose silly idea it was to put it behind the gate, but it's making it quite hard. I'm checking the sunflowers, seeing if it's gone brown. Wait a little bit longer and we can check the seeds. We'll wait a bit longer yet, and then we can harvest some of the sunflower heads. With this one here, might be time to harvest. Some of the seeds are coming out now, so we may just harvest that one. We'll take our cutters and make it a bit snip. This is our seed head. We're just brushing away at the spent flowers. And then we can harvest the seeds. Make a note on how big this was and the size. And I'm pretty sure these were the seeds from the Pick Your Own farm. They haven't really come to much size this year. Not quite sure why. Normally they've been 7, 8 foot tall. but maybe the weather in the early part of the year was too hot and they just seem to have flowered too early. So we collect the rest of those. So we spent the last few days down here painting the shed and building a little tool shed on the side. I'm really pleased with that. And now we can empty out the shed and we can make it nice in there. But while we've been doing that, we haven't been concentrating on the allotment and the garden, so now we need to do a few jobs. So let's get a few jobs done on the garden. So this was my sweet corn, and as you can see, it's just totally beneath. So at least now we've got a new bed, we can plant some things in. So it's not a very nice day, the beginning of August. Thought we were in for some hot weather at the weekend. It's not looking like it at the moment. So anyway, we're inside the tunnel. Still plenty of jobs to do in here. Open my polytunnel, and as you walk in, look what we can see. Massive hole. We look down, and you can see. So yesterday, when we came to the plot, we heard a massive big surge of water, and we come rushing into the polytunnel, and we found the polytunnel water butt cracked. It was a really warm day on Sunday, and the water barrel was completely full, and it's literally split right at the back here from the top right down to the bottom. So I thought this was a good old sturdy water butt, but we've got to beware that they obviously split, maybe when they're hot, when they're full. So it's something that needs to be considered. So what we're going to use in place, we'll have to have another plan. Well, that day all these plants got watered, and you can see all the soil that got washed down the path at the same time. So this is my tigerella, and some of the tomatoes that have been sat on the ground have been spoilt. So I'm just going to cut this whole truss off and remove the spoilt tomatoes. You don't want to be leaving too much food around on the floor. for our little friends. But we still do have some, which would be great. If we look at this tomato plant, the cane has broken and it's lying across the floor. This is one disadvantage of using a cane, that the cane is snapped, which does make me think maybe something heavy was climbing around it and pulled it over. As the tomatoes have been on the ground, they're being eaten too. So we need to pop this back up again, and we're going to remove the spoiled fruit. So we're just placing a piece of string between one pole to the other pole, tying it together, and then the cane or the string of the tomato can sit on the rope. So here we go. So it's quite a heavy tomato. So we're just going to do a twist in here. It's a bit too tight, at least it won't move. There we go. Now the fruits are upright. So we're going to remove the damaged fruits, and as you can see, this one has split. This one's been eaten, which is a good size as well, but I can just see that this one was eaten while it's on the deck. So we bought this ball of string, it cost us £5. It's massive. It's never going to run out of string. So anyway, we need to make some trellis for our cucumbers. So while we pull our string across here, we're going to make a couple of string trellises. I'm just attaching some strings on this side and two on the other side. Two, and then the cucumbers can grow up the strings. So 1, 2. So this is our newest cucumbers, and these are apple, and these were sown around 4 weeks ago, 4.5 weeks ago, and now they're growing really good. They're getting a bit of a spurt on. These were grown in the compost that we did in the wheelbarrow, and we put them in a bottomless pot so we can water around the edge of the pots and not damage the stem. But these are growing on now, and I've just got my piece of string And we're just literally going to wrap it around the cucumber plant, and we should be quite happy to grow up my string. So I'm just twisting it round the stem. And I'm just going to make a small knot at the bottom. Just so the string doesn't move. Ideally, the string should have been put around the root, and then the root would have grown round. But there we go. So we're just going to keep twisting this around, and it can grow up the string. The basil next door has gone a bit crazy. So I'm just sat here drinking my cup of coffee, and I've looked, and right on the end of my board there there's a little furrow, a little trough under the board, and I thought that's a bit unusual. So we're going to have a look outside to where the sweet corn is that we've just dug up. We look behind the board here, and look, we see a tomato. It's obviously been pulled out of the tunnel and it's got stuck. So that's a couple of hours done on the vegetable garden for today. Rain doesn't look as if it's going to stop, so I'm going to go on and head off home. So thank you for watching, and if you're new to my channel, then please subscribe, ring that bell, and leave me a message. I love reading all your messages, and I reply to everybody. So while I'm sat here, I can see many more jobs to do. So one thing that I do need to do is give it a real good water, and I also need to eat some more tomatoes. Cheers. Everything needs a good water, and we're just filling up the containers of the wick. Christmas potatoes. I'm also filling up my water trays. Peas, not doing so good. Everything's needed a bit of water. Just a few days of not watering and everything suffers.